Hey there, it's Leona. Welcome to Zen Mindfulness Shodo. Today, we are gonna practice Shodo meditation while focusing on the Hiragana character for Ho. So, let's begin a beautiful journey together. When you write a character, imagine a square about the size of the character that you are gonna write like this. First, I'm gonna write it. Then I'm gonna explain the points and tips for writing the character beautifully in detail. Let's begin the explanation. The first stroke starts slightly above and to the left of the center point of the top left square, similar to the first stroke of Hiragana ni or ha. Draw a line that curves slightly to the left, or forms a slight S-shaped curve. Parallel to the middle vertical line, until the middle horizontal line comes to the middle of the stroke. Ensure this line doesn't tilt, but remains vertical and parallel to the middle vertical line, even while curving, to make the entire character appear standing straight up and visually appealing. At the end point, check towards the upper right for the starting point of the second stroke. Move the pen upward to the right like this. The second stroke begins slightly lower than the starting point of the first stroke, around the middle vertical line. Draw this line curving upwards and to the right. Continue until the space to the right of the end point is roughly equal to the space to the left of the first stroke's starting point. Start with less pen pressure and gradually thicken the line as you move right to better express the curved beauty characteristic of Hiragana, since it starts from the thinnest part of the check from the first stroke. Starting thin and gradually thickening also expresses continuity with the first stroke. Next, move the pen downwards to the lower left like this. The third stroke starts directly below the second stroke's starting point, around the middle vertical line, at about the height of the center point, or slightly above. This line moves upward to the right, parallel to the second stroke. The second stroke is a line that curves upward, while the third stroke is a line that curves downward. Continue until you're directly below the end point of the second stroke. From the end point of the third stroke, move the pen upwards to the upper left. The fourth stroke starts slightly to the right of the middle of the second stroke. Draw this line curving slightly to the right like this, or with a slight S-shaped curve like this. The important point is to draw vertically, parallel to the middle vertical line. For instance, if this vertical part of the fourth stroke is not parallel to the middle vertical line, and not parallel to the first stroke, the overall balance of the character is off. So try your best to make this part appear parallel to the first stroke. Continue until a height a little bit higher than the lowest point of the first stroke. Then curve downwards and move to the left, turning upwards around the middle vertical line below the starting points of the second and third strokes. Curve upwards and then down to the lower right, moving downward to the right until a point directly below the end points of the second and third strokes. This places the intersection point roughly in the middle, so the parts to the left and right of the intersection appear almost the same lengths, creating a good left-right balance. Also, curve upwards where these two spaces appear, almost equal for a better overall balance. The lowest point of the loop in the fourth stroke should be slightly higher than the lowest point of the first stroke. For example, if it goes lower than the lowest point of the first stroke like this, the character's weight shifts too much to the lower right, affecting the balance. Keeping the right side slightly higher maintains good overall balance of the character. Try practicing while keeping these points and tips in mind. The key points for writing hiragana characters, as explained in the video, are concisely summarized in this book in a similar manner. The book allows you 3 pages to practice each character. It can be purchased on Amazon. See the link in the description. I'm gonna practice 1 page of this workbook this time, but you're welcome to practice as much as you want. If you're practicing with a pen, I recommend that you place a few pieces of paper under the page that you're writing on, so that the ink doesn't bleed onto the page under it. Alright, let's get started.